Able to see my screen? Okay. Today's topic is developer actions, which we frequently do every day. That is checkout, check-in, and private edit. Before we jump into this topic, let's understand what are things that we have learned yesterday. Let's give an overview for everyone. So if you can see yesterday, we had a discussion on rules and its types. So we have gone through each and every rule, like where exactly we will be using this rule type. We have understood the scenarios for each and every rule. People are attending today. I can see you folks join today. I request you go for each and every demo video which you have given. You can just browse the drive. You can open it. We have already had recordings for the first 3 to 4 classes of the demo sessions. This is the fourth, fifth class which we are going to understand. Yesterday we had a discussion on rules and its types. Where we understand what is a rule, why we create a rule inside the rule set, what is precedence key, how to select the right stack while creating a new rule. We have gone to the actions tab, which is present in each and every rule. Then we have understood how to create a new rule. We have gone through 3 to 4 ways where we can create a new rule. Rule sets, we have understood rule sets, the importance of rule sets, how rule sets plays a crucial role in locking and unlocking, and it helps to securing each and every rule. So you have an option to secure each and every rule, which will provide a privilege and security so that no one can update that rule. Then we have understood validation types. As mentioned, we'll be having two validation types, application validation and rule set validation. We have covered a demo on how application validation works and how rule set validation works. So for the topic for today's developer actions, this is the one which we frequently use. Checkout, check-in and private edit. Let's understand what is checkout and what is check-in in real-time scenario. Apart from Pega, if we consider any functionality, like it can be a GitHub, where the code is completely present inside the GitHub. If we can understand real-time scenario, you can see here, we have a GitHub. Okay, GitHub is the place where we're storing all the data. Okay, this will be acting as a storage place where we'll be having all the data. Let's consider the user who is using this code. If he wants to work on this, if he wants to work on this item, what he will be doing? Let's consider the data is inside this project. What it will be GitHub, from the GitHub, he will be pulling the data from GitHub to the project. Okay, he will be modifying the data. If he wants to add new rules, he can be adding it. He will be developing entire thing in this project. Then he will be testing and committing the changes, and then he will be pushing it to the GitHub. Similarly, in Pega, if we consider the scenario, we can say pull and push as checkout and check-in. So it's nothing but you have a main code present in the Pega application. If you want to pull, in the sense, if you want to use that rule, you'll be checking out in your rules, in your private edit. You will be checking out that rule. You'll be making that changes. After you making out the changes, you will be testing it. If you want to push that data into the main code, you'll be using check-in feature. Similarly, here, if you can see here, if I compare the GitHub one, you have the source code of the GitHub. If you want to modify or update data from that GitHub, what you will be doing it, you will be using a pull command to pull it. You will be storing it in your project. This project we call it as our, when we log it with our credentials, we call it as we have checked out. So we have checked out that rule. Similarly, in GitHub, you will be storing it in the project. You'll be adding your changes. After adding your changes, you'll be pushing the data to GitHub. The same functionality comes here. Checkout, you will be pulling the data. You'll be updating the data. After that, you'll be pushing the data into your main code. That is checkout and check-in. So first let's understand checkout and check-in Pega environment. Then we can jump to the private edit. So let's understand checkout and check-in. Why checkout and check-in is important, and what are the things that we can expect as from an interview point of view. What are the questions that we can expect as part of checkout, check-in, and private edit? Okay, let me jump to the designer studio. You can see here, it can be compared to taking a checkout in Pega rule. So we consider can be compared to taking a checkout in a Pega rule. Is nothing but you are using that rule, you are checking out, you will be making that changes, and push is nothing but you're checking that code changes into the Pega environment. Clear? So let's understand a sample demo of how checkout and check-in work. Let's log into the environment. So you can see this is the application which we configured. For this application, let's understand how the checkout and check-in works. For that to have, let's consider I'm opening the application definition. Just refreshing it. Okay, open the application definition. We have these rule sets defined. Inside these rule sets, we have rules. So before we jumping into the topic, you can see there are three versions. The first version is locked. Second version is also locked. Third version is not locked. Okay. If we consider what I'm doing, this should be application validation because it should be application validation. We made the change yesterday. If you can see here, we are having tools. You can unlock a tool set. If I open any one of these tool here, this is in the unlock tool set. Now let me open one tool which is in lock tool set. This is the tool which is there in the lock tool set. If you can see, this is a lock tool set. It means that no one can modify it. If you want to modify it, either you need to check out, you need to save as in your branch, or you need to create a new instance of this in the new version, which we have seen yesterday. If you want to modify this one, it's not possible because it is locked. So you need to keep in your mind, if any rule set is locked, then you cannot modify that rule. Whatever the rule that is there in that rule set, if that is locked, then you cannot modify that rule. If you want to modify it, you need to save as, either you need to save as in your branch, or you need to save as in the new rule set version. If I just click save as, you can see if I want to modify this one, I need to save as directly into any one of this branch. Okay. If you don't want to save as in the branch, you will be selecting no branch and you can see a rule set version is getting, yeah, rule set version open, that will be getting created in this. Okay. If you're not understanding this one, development branch or this rule set, we're not focusing on creating a rule. For now, just understand if there is any rule, if you want to modify it, if it is a locked rule set, that you cannot modify it. If you want to modify it, you need to save as into one of your development branches, or you need to save as in the highest rule set version or the unlocked rule set versions. Here you can see, this is the rule which we have opened. This rule you can see, this is unlocked. In the sense this is not having, this is not acquired a lock. You can see we are having delete actions and save button. But we want checkout and check-in, right? If you want to enable checkout and check-in feature, we need to follow two steps. I'm reiterating the same point again. If you want to have checkout or check-in enabled in any rule which is unlocked, okay, what you need to do? You need to enable that functionality in two different places. The first place is that open your operator profile, go to your operator profile. This is the operator profile. Open your operator profile. We have the security tab. Navigate to security tab. Allow rule checkout. Clear? This is not there. So what is the use of allow rule checkout? Why this is not enabled for all the users? Let's consider there is an end user. Let's consider there is an end user of the application. He don't want to modify any rule. He don't needs to update any rule. And we must not provide that privilege to the end users. End users are the one who will be only accessing the application and not play a role in developing the application or modifying any code of the rule. For those, will be not enabling the checkbox. So it means that for any end user, they cannot modify the code. They will only access the application and they will go. As a part of developer, we need to have this enable checked. I'm enabling the checkbox. This is the first place where you need to enable the checkbox. This is done. Will it solve the problem? Don't think so. Let's go and refresh it. Refresh this one. No, we need one other option enabled. There is other place where you need to allow the rule checkout option. That is in the application rule set. This is the application rule set. Go to security tab. Give use checkout. As mentioned, you need to provide use checkout option in two different places. The first place is the operator profile, which we have already enabled. The other place is the rule set, which I am enabled now. Now go back to the rule, click actions, refresh. You can see you got the checkout option. Clear? The importance of use checkout option is that for end users, you will not providing use checkout option. You can expect an interview question on this. What is the importance of use rule checkout? Okay, and what way? Suppose let's consider I want to have rule checkout enabled. What are the places you need to configure the checkout option? The first question you need to answer that checkout option is very important or very crucial for an application developer. We'll be enabling checkout option only for the developers and application support team, but not for the end users. The reason end users plays a role just to access that application and they will be not going through any one of those rules to modify it. The second question, if you want to have this checkout and check-in enable, where are the places you need to enable that option? The first place is the operator profile. Go to your operator profile, security tab, allow rule checkout option, enable that one. The other place is that open the rule set. If you can see, this is the rule set which this rule belongs to. Go to this rule set, go to security tab and provide use checkout. This is very important. I'm reiterating it. It's very, very important. You need to understand that these are the two places. You need to enable use checkout option so that you can use that tool for push and pull. Okay. Clear? Any doubts?
The end users means what is that end users will do?
Okay. Let's consider. That's a good question. If you consider you are, if you in your mobile you're having multiple applications, right? If you have multiple applications, can be a Book My Show, Amazon, Swiggy, Zomato. You are accessing that application. Are you modifying it? All right. So you are the end user who is you are using that application and you don't have the privilege to modify anything. There comes the end user picture. So if there is any person who is consuming that application for his own purpose, he is using this application to carry out some functionality for his use. These are the people who we call it as end users. Clear?
Okay.
So if you are developing this application, the main purpose of developing an application is that to have it to have this all the development into the production environment. Production environment is a real-time environment where you are providing a privilege to the people who wants to use it. That's how the application development works. And if you can see, this is locked, this is locked, and this is not locked. What are the differences between the locked and not locked? So if it is locked, you can see if you go to the sets versions, you can see the second one is locked, the third one is not locked. I have enabled the private edit. I have enabled the checkout and check-in option for the rule set on my operator ID as well. Then why for the lock or rule sets we didn't have this checkout check-in option enabled? The reason being, if you are checking in, it means that let's consider I'm doing private edit. If you want to modify it, I'm just doing a private edit. Let's understand I'm doing a private edit here. I want to check in the rule. But check is nothing but you want to push that rule into the main environment. I'm trying to push. It says that you need to select the destination path. You need to select the destination path as either rule set or branch. Okay. You can see the rule already exists in a rule set version. The version may not be chosen at runtime. The reason being it's locked. Now what I will do, I'll just go back to this place, test validation. You can see the test validation. This is the highest rule set and this is not locked. Okay, if I just check out here and if I try to check in, you can see are you getting any type of you can see the destination part, rule set or branch. It's asking for destination part, rule set or branch. But if you consider here, it's not asking that part. The reason being, as it is unlocked rule set, you can modify that rule. Locked and unlocked. If it is unlocked, you can modify it. There is no need to move that code into the branch or rule set, new rule set. Here you can see this for this one, it is in locked. That means that you can't directly check in that rule. Just need to keep this in mind. If you want to push the data, you can push it. But if you want to pull the data, sorry, if you want to pull the data, it's not, if you want to modify the data, you can modify it here, but you can't push the data if it is a locked rule set. If you want to do that, you need to move it to any rule set, highest rule set version or unlocked rule set version, or you need to move it to the branch. But here the scenario is completely opposite where you can directly modify the code. You can directly check in without any disturbance or discrepancies. You can check in that. First, I just want to know whether you have understood what is check in and check out. Then I will show you some demo on this check in and check out. Any doubts? Please
No,
just fire.
if unlock rule set means we use check in and check out. If it lock rule set means we will use private edit, and if we will move the code to branch and we will push that one, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. If it is locked, it means that you're not having that privilege to modify the code. You can modify it, but you don't have the privilege to push. If you want to push it, you need to move it to the highest version or the unlocked version, or you need to move it to your checkout, or you need to move it to a branch. Clear? Now I'm just
And
discarding it. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so as you are saying, like if it is logged, we can change it through private edit.
Yeah.
So where it will implement the changes if we do private edit? in the same rule set.
That's correct. That's good question. If you can see, this is my ID, right? Clear? If I'm searching with my ID, by searching with my ID, if you just expand this one, we are having only, we can see this instance is present in one, two, three. Okay, this instance is present in three layers. If you can see, this is present in this branch. We have a branch created last time. This is present in this branch. Okay, this instance is present in this branch. And also we have this in 010103, 010102. So it will show you what are the rules that it contains. So what I will do, if we can go here, this is the one which is logged, right? As per your question, if this is locked, if you try to do private edit and clicking private edit, now what happens if you try to search the same tool? Earlier we were having three instances. Now it will create the new instance. You can see this is the new instance which got created. So whatever the rule that you make changes, it will create a private copy. When you click private edit, it will create a private copy of that rule. If you can see here, this is the private copy which Pega created, dummy user added rule set. It on the name of my name, my operator ID, because I checked out. I mean, I've done private edit. So when you click private edit, it will create a private instance of that rule. Earlier we have three, now we are having four. Clear? So in this private instance, if you consider this is the private instance where whatever the rule that you modify will be captured in this private instance rule. If you go here, I'll go back to this one as well, testing branch. You can see this is in the branch. You can see this is there in this branch rule set. If I try to check out again, I'm just clicking checkout. It states that checkout failed. A checkout version with the same key already exists. What does this mean? If I expand this one, you can see the first one. Maybe if I open this one, you can see this is not checked out. Let me close all of this. Explain you again. Testing branch. I can expand this one. This is the one which is there as a private copy in my operator ID. Now if I try to check out, this is in which version? This is in 010102 version which is locked. Correct? If I try to open the highest version one, this is 010103. If I want to modify it here, what I need to do? If you want to modify any rule, either you need to have you need to check out because it's unlocked rule set. But try to check out, it says that instance already present. Yeah, instance already present, right? If you try to expand this one, the first one is the instance which we have in the private edit. What you need to do, if you want to modify it here, if you want to modify it here, it's very important you to check in that rule or discard it. Either you need to check in that rule, either you need to check in that rule or you need to discard it. But as it is in a locked rule set, I'm reiterating it, as it is in a locked rule set, if you try to check it will ask you to select the destination. Now, if you want to modify any rule here, it's very important for us to resolve this error. How to resolve this error? Just go back to testing branch here, discard this one. Now come back to this rule, check out. Clear? So any rule, if you want to modify any rule in Pega, we can have that rule in our private copy. Now if I try to search here again, expand this one, you can see this rule is present as an instant as a private. This is a checkout rule which is there on my name. This is my instance which I've done. We have other three rules 010103, 010102, and this branch one. For all the checked out rules, let's consider you are working on the application. You have checked out around 8 to 9 rules. Okay. Where you find that all the checked out rules? You have the search icon, right? The blue one. Just click on this. You can see here when I hover on this one, you can say checked out records. If you want to get the list of all the checked out records for your operator profile, just search it. You can see I'm having only one rule in the checked out records. Okay. If you are working on an application, if there are 8 checked outs, if you search, come here, search it, you can see, you can find all the checked out records on your operator profile name. Okay. Now I will show you the other scenario. This is the scenario one where we have understood the difference between a locked rule set and unlocked rule set, how the behavior of the checkout and check-in rule with respect to locked and unlocked rule set. Okay. What I will do, let's consider there is a in this application we're having multiple users. I can see I'm the one who is using this application. Let's create an operator profile and let him log in to the same environment and see how the functionality varies with respect to different operators. So for creating an operator, you can see this is an OBC load application. Let's see whether we have any operators created. If not, we can create a new operator. OBC test ID, we created it 3 days back. OBC test ID. If you just open this OBC test ID, is having OBC load app author, so he can access the application, but we don't know the password. Update the password. Update the password. Providing option to check out. Log in with this ID. So you can have this application alias of this URL. You will be getting this application alias of this application. This is a URL verified it. Open it here. This is this ID. Okay. So you can see now we are having two operators. This is a second scenario, which is very, very important. Let's consider we are having an application called OBC Load app, where we are having multiple users logged into that application. Now you can see dummy user is the first user who is having access to this application and he logged in. Okay. The other person named OBC test ID. We have this other person logged in with the same application. Now what I will do, this person will have access to all the bits of this application definition because he is having this access to, if you go to this operator profile, as this person is having access to assign, he is having all the privilege of that application. Okay. Now what I will do, open this window. You can see this is the vendor. Okay. This is there in this branch. Let's consider more about the highest rule set. You can see OBC loan app 010103. This is the highest rule set. Now you can see this rule is there here. I'm copying the same rule and opening it here as well. I just want to show you the comparison how this scenario works if both operators want to modify the same rule. Okay. This is the first thing what we have done. We have created one operator with the same application access rule. You can see the first user, he opened this testing branch up tool set tool in this environment, and we have the second user opened the same rule in his own environment. Now what I will do, I will do checkout. I'm doing checkout and I'm doing nothing. I have this in my checkout record. I will find it, search it here. You can see this rule is there in your checkout record. Now come here. I came back here. If I try to check out, what happens? Checkout failed. Original record already logged by OBC test ID. Got it? It says that the checkout failed. The reason being this already present, is already being used by this application. This rule is already logged in by this user called OBC test ID. He is having it in his private edit. You can see he is having his private edit. So if you want to modify it here, all it says checkout failed original record already logged by OBC test ID. So you cannot check out this rule now, right? What you can do, if you are unable to check out this rule, what you can do? Here again, there are two things. If you really want to modify this rule as part of your application development, you cannot check out this rule. In real scenario, what you will be doing it, you will be saving as, okay, you will be saving as internal branch and modifying the rule there. Okay, this is the real-time scenario. Now let's search in this rule. If you expand this, we are having 4 instances created. This is 010103, we had it earlier, 010102, we had it earlier, and branch bug 1, this already we have it earlier. This is the instance which is created on the other operator profile. If I open this one, you can see this is the one which is there in the operator profile. Go back here. If you modify anything here, go back here. This is the one. This is there here. Now what I will do, I'll just modify the value. I'm saving this one. I didn't check it. So without I checked it, if you try to refresh also, the rules will not get reflected here. We are just pulling the data. This person, what he did, he pulled that rule and he stored that instance in his operator profile. He modified the rule. He just modified it. He didn't push it. If you want to push it to the environment, main environment, you need to check it. Now you can see it is having value list only because the data didn't move. Right? The data didn't move. Now if you can see as this person checked out, you can private edit of this one. You can do private edit because the checkout and check-in feature will not be available for you. As a person is already checked out, you don't have that feature, you can do private edit. Since you can just do private edit. Now we can see before doing that, how many instances we're having now? We're having 1, 2, 3, 4. What happens if I do private edit? I'm doing private edit. How many instances will it create now? Do we have the other? We have only the 4 items, or it will create new one? It will create new one. So whenever you check out any rule, so let's consider the same rule is checked out by one user, and same rule was done by private edit by 10 users. So it will create total 11 instances. Okay. If any individual, it can be an individual, if we do private edit, it will definitely create an instance in this operator profile. Now we're having how many
Sorry.
you want okay,
Yes.
I'll tell you. So before we do
Yeah,
private
sorry.
edit, how many instances we have here? 4, right? We're having 4 instances. I don't have this checkout check-in option. The reason being the other operator is having that rule in his checkout. As this rule is as this rule is checked out by other operator, you don't have this option. But you can modify this rule. If you want to test this rule at your end, you have an option to do private edit. As this is in unlocked rule set, you will get an option to do private edit. If I click private edit, what happens if I click private edit? Now how many instances will be present of this rule? We'll be having 5 instances. Dummy user, this is the one which got created now when I click checked out. When I click private edit, sorry. Now we are having 5 instances. So for each and every rule, if any operator, if that is there in the unlocked rule set, I'm telling you, if there is any rule and if that rule is unlocked and if that rule is there in unlocked rule set, if you can have an option to do either checkout, if no one checked out it, if someone checked out it, you have an option to do private edit. So every time, whenever you do private edit or whenever you check out that rule, Pega will create instance on that person's name. So Pega will create instance of that person name. Earlier, what happened? We used to have 3. When this OBC test ID checked out that record, we got 4. Now this dummy user, he did private edit, and now we have 5. Let's consider this other user logged in. Let's consider OBC test ID 2. He opened this rule, and if he did private edit, at that time, how many instances will be created? We'll be having 6 instances. Clear? In simple terms, whenever you try to modify the tool in your private edit or checkout, Pega will create one new instance on your operator profile name. Okay. So here, if you can see, we have this value. Here, I've modified it to PV value. Okay. Here you can go. If you try to check in here, it will tell you either to map it to destination rule set or branch, which I'm not doing it now. I came back here, I modified it. Now go back here and just discard it because I cannot do anything on this. I discarded it. I will be pushing this rule. I have modified it. Now I'm pushing it. So whenever I'm pushing it, if you are finding any errors here, so you'll be having some warnings. Like I will provide you some warnings. This is the warning that is related to creating a test case, which we will be covering it in one of the lecture. Creating a test case is a separate topic, which will be creating it. For now, just add some justification. We can add any justification. Testing the changes. Check-in comments. We have modified the p-val label from value value. Correct. Here you can see work items to associate. If you're having any Jira stories assigned, if you have integrated with your Jira tool, you can call the Jira ID number and provide the work item here. Okay, 99% will be not integrating the Jira tool. We'll be having a separate tool where we'll be modifying all the things there itself. So it's not required for now and it's not a mandatory field. I'm checking. It's done, right? Now go back to the operator profile 1. It is value list here. You can click actions, refresh. It modified the value. Clear? Any doubt?
So, here, it has been modified and showing updated value. So,
Mhm.
but when we do private edit, it won't be. We can't have it in the same version rules, right? It is just for temporary thing we are
Temporary.
using
Correct.
for
That's
private.
correct. That's temporary purpose. If I go back here, this is value, right? Now I'm doing checkout. This second part is doing checkout. Here giving value of value for test. I'm modifying it to value for test, right? Go back here, right to actions, refresh. You can see that as the person checked out, you will be having only private edit option. This value is not modified. I'm doing private edit. I'm doing private edit, which I have mentioned. If you are doing private edit, I've done this private edit. I'll go back here. Go back here. Fried chicken. Edit chicken, right? Now no actions refresh. You can see it's updated to value for test. Now come back here. As this is your private edit rule. Let's search this one. As this is your private edit rule. Dummy user is your private edit rule. It will not reflect the changes here because this is the private copy. If you want to find the changes which got reflected, we have checked in that rule in 010103. Can open this one. I can find it here. Okay. Value. What we are doing, as this is in a private edit, what are the things which the other person modified will not reflect. This is the private copy which is present only for the operator who logged in. I'm the operator. I'm having this in a checked out record. This will only show to me, not for the others. Even if you modify the tool at your end, it will not reflect in my private edit copy. It will only reflect if you push the data. If you push the data into 010103, then that only will be reflected here. Clear? Any doubts? The other important thing which you need to understand. So let's consider you are in a real-time project. Okay, we are having multiple rules. We are having more than 100. We'll be definitely having more than 300 to 400 rules. I just want to know who modified this. If I open this 010103, right? Like earlier, yesterday when I saw it, it's there as value. Today, when I'm trying to do testing, I just want to, I'm just opening this role and I can say I could remember this was value yesterday. Okay, but now I can see it's changed for value for test. I just want to know who modified it. Okay, it's very important for me to understand who modified it. And I will go and check with him why he modified it. Okay, as we can see, there will be different teams working on the same application. It's not the individuals only. It's not only one application. Only one team will be working on that application. If we consider the banking project in real time, we'll be having more than 40 people or 50 people working on the same application. The reason being, it's very it's a very wide project where it requires every individual to work on it. If you want to deliver that project on time, they will be taking or gathering, they will be dividing their application into multiple teams. So I understood that this PY label value was different yesterday, but it got modified today. I want to know who modified it. It's very difficult for me to open Jira stories and understand who understand. It's difficult for me to go to each and every description that's present in the Jira stories. The simple or smart way is to open the history tab. We have this history tab, right? Click on this history tab. Go to view full history. This is the page where you can find all the things that got modified. If someone do check out and check in, whatever the changes that he modified and get, you can see. That's the reason why I'm saying, whenever you do checkout and check-in, if you add the check-in or checkout comments that will display on the history tab, that will definitely help. So let's consider this OBC test ID. I can see this OBC test ID, modified it at this time. What he modified it? He modified the PV label value. It gave me a clear picture, right? I got a clear picture. I had a doubt who modified it. I don't know who modified it. If I want to know I will go to the history tab. I'll open this in the history tab. You can see obesity test ID modified it. Correct. This is how we can check if someone modified something in any role in Pega. You can get that information from the history tab. Clear? What is the importance of history tab? It can enter a question. It tell that if someone modified any rule, if you want to see the modifications which are done as part of any changes which are done by any developer, you can go and check it from the history tab. Clear? That's all about checkout, check-in, and private edit. These three things play a wider role in real time. In real time, I'm reiterating this thing. In real time, if though you check out this rule, you'll be not checking it. You'll be not checking that rule. Ideal way is to check out to the branch, modify your code, test that code, get code review done, make sure that branch quality is more than 90% or 100, at least it should be at least it should be more than 90%. And the good thing, if it is having 100%, well and good. After code review is done, then you will be moving it to the highest version or the version which is unlocked. This is the ideal scenario. Okay. If someone asks you in an interviewer, if someone asks you, is it a good way to check out and check in? You must not say yes. That will definitely give a bad impression. You need to tell that check out and check in, you can explain about the functionality. But in my real time project, I never did check in. The reason being, it's very important for us to make, if you want to make any changes, we'll be creating it in a branch so that whatever the rule I'm checking it, which should not affect the main code. I need to test it. I need to test my changes. I need to get my code review done. Then only I will be moving that code. Okay, it's a good thing to check out and check in. You can check out, but check in is not a good thing. You must not do in the real time project. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the slide. This is a real time scenario where you push and pull. You pull, you can pull it, but push you should not push directly by using check-in. As mentioned, check out your branch, modify the rule, test it, and then merge it. So case management part one. I'll just give an overview of case management part one. Okay, what is case management? The case management is something which is very important. From here, I will be making sure that we will be understanding all the rules. What are the rules which I have promised you that I will be teaching you? I will be covering each and every rule starting from the case management part one. Okay. So I recommend everyone to go through all the demo sessions which we had till date, understand them. Those are the basic things which have gone. So we have understood what is a rule sets, what are rules, right? What is rule set, what are the validations that we have, and we have understood the studios. So everything was simple and clean and clear. But from now, it's very important for us to create each and every rule instance which we'll be creating it. So for just understand what is case management. Okay. So let's consider if you have any application, can be any application, we'll be having different stages. Review about stages or review about process. That's a separate topic in Pega. If you can take any real-time application, the first and foremost thing that you will see after you install that application is that it will ask you for login ID and password. We can call it as the first screen. Correct? After you log in and log out, so here we have two different scenarios. If the person is new user, he will register his account. Okay. If he is an existing user, he will try to log in. This is the ideal scenario. If he is a new user, it needs to route to register tab. Register tab where he need to register his account. If he is an existing account user, it will be routed to the existing account. He needs to provide his credentials and he will be entering into that application. Right? So it's very important whenever you are developing an application, you need to understand what are the things that are going to develop. So understanding of of our application development is very crucial. Without you understanding what are the stages and steps that it contains or what are the screen that you're going to develop, you can't go ahead. Understand each and every development, what are the things that you're doing. First understand or first try to document it. Okay. Then we can create a case type rule. Case type is a separate rule in Pega where you can configure the path. What is the path? If you can consider opening a bank account, if you can consider A loan application. If we can consider loan application, what are the steps that we usually follow? First, we try to provide our details, what are the details that we are having. Okay, Aadhaar card, we will be providing our Aadhaar card details, pay slips, right? Pay slips, address proofs, etc. With the first name, last name, date of birth, everything we'll be providing it to them. Yes, and we'll be also providing our PAN card. The reason why we provide PAN card is to check the CIBIL score. They will be checking the CIBIL score. The first stage, what they will be doing it, they will be capturing all the details from the customer. The second stage, they will be validating all the documents. I'll be validating all the documents, whether the documents is aligned correctly or not. We'll be checking whether the documents are real or fake. Then we'll be also checking the CIBIL score. If the documents are clear, if he's having a good CIBIL score, and if he's not having previous loans, and if he feel that he can pay the EMI, if the salary is 1 lakh and if he's having earlier EMIs of 30,000, they'll be doing some trial and errors from their end, and they will tell you will be getting only 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs loan. So they will be doing some trial and error. So this is the stage. The second part is that they will be validating the things. Correct. The third one will be the managerial approval or the regional managerial approval, depending upon the loan amount. The loan amount is 10, less than 10 lakhs. The manager of that bank should approve it. If it is more than 50 lakhs, it's important for that bank manager along with the regional manager to approve it, right? And the last is settlement. If we can understand here, if we can see the approach one, I've taken the screenshot where you can see single case. This is the path. We'll be collecting the information. This time collecting the information. I'm validating and investigating the information. I will be approving it after the manager approval. We are settling the loan amount. Okay. This is the ideal scenario. So in order to have all these things in place, so you can see this is the path which we will be following it. If you want to have all these things in place, where exactly we can configure it, where comes the case type rule. What is the case type rule? If you want to configure the end-to-end path of an application, leave about the development part, leave about the background rules, leave about the UI. The important thing is to configure the entire process on a single thing. The single thing can be a case type rule. You will be understanding what is your application going to do. After you gather the details, you will be capturing each and every step or stages on a rule in Pega called case type rule. Clear? Case type rule is something which is very important. The reason being, case type rule will have all the information, end-to-end application information will be present on the case type rule. Either it can be a happy path. We call a rule. I mean, we call a process as happy path. So if you can see, I'm applying for loan. I want the loan amount. I got my loan amount. I can call it as a happy path. Okay. What could be the other way? I've applied for loan. Due to some reasons, it got rejected. This cannot be a happy path because my requirement was not fulfilled. So we can configure alternate stages, alternate steps. We can configure everything. But whatever thing that you're planning to configure, those things will only fall under case type rule. The entire application overview we can define it in a single rule and we call it as a case type rule. Clear? If we consider here, we have approach one where we are collecting the information, we are validating the information, we are asking for managerial approval, then payment is settled. This is a single case. So we are having a single case. What if we are having multiple cases? The sense if we consider this one, we have single case, we can have this investigation as a child case. So in Pega, we are having a concept called parent case and child case. I will be walking through parent case and child case day after tomorrow. But for now, understand we can have different approaches. It doesn't mean that we need to follow the same approach. Doesn't mean that we need to follow the same approach. We can have multiple approaches as well. This I feel is the approach too. But what is the ideal approach? Who will decide the ideal approach? Which stages we need to configure? Which steps we need to configure? Do we need to have a other child case on that main case? So all these things are identified by the client. So whenever clients provides this information or this requirement, okay, business analyst will document it, and the clients once they document it, will be having an internal meet where LSS along with the leads will be working on it to finalize the approach. So approach part will be finalized by LSS and leads, and we being the developers will be working on developing it. Clients will deliver the entire thing to the business analyst. Business analyst will be the point of contact with the clients. He'll be capturing all the information. He'll be documenting it. Whatever the thing he captured and documented, once the KT from clients to business analyst along with the leads is done, leads along with the LSS will go through the documentation and they will finalize the approach. Approach squad, don't worry. We are not the one who will be deciding the approach. There is a team where they will be doing it. From our point of view, we need to concentrate on developing the things. So case type is done. We need to understand creation of our first case type. I will show you how we need to create our first case type. Then how we have understood the various rules that got created when we created an application. Similar way, we need to understand various rules that are created as part of case type creation. This will be a question where they will be asking you what are the rules that Pega create whenever an application is created. This can be a question for an interview. And the other question is that what are the various rules that Pega create whenever we create a case type rule. You need to keep in mind both are different things. So let's just understand whether the question is for application or whether the question is for case type. Okay, if understand the various rules, don't think that the question is for application. It can be for case type rule as well, or it can be for data type rule as well. So I will be telling you whenever we are working on any rule, if Pega create any background rules for that rule, I will be telling you what are the rules that Pega will create. So we'll understand what are the various rules that are created as part of case type rule. This is the fourth topic. And the last topic is that understand the background rules which helps in creating a case. So once case type is done, when you try to create the case is nothing but you are trying to create a case ID. At that time, understand what are the background rules which from the Pega which helps in creating that case. So let's not get delayed. Let's jump into the demo directly. I will show you all the four things which we have discussed now. This is the environment. Now my requirement is to create a new case type. If you want to create a new case type, you have this option called case type here. Add a case type. I'm just clicking add a case type. I'm giving on application as my case type. If you click on advanced configurations, you can see derived from work. So it will be asking for this is the class type. This is the inheritance part, which we'll be learning it tomorrow. But for now, just understand class structure, inheritance paths. We'll be having a session tomorrow. So let's keep it simple. I'm not doing anything here. I'm not having any branch. I'm not telling you about what is derived from what is pattern inheritance, what is direct inheritance. We can cover it up later. But for now, just understand I'm just creating a case type, simple case type. Click on submit. You can see the case type will got created. This is how we have created the case type rule. Can go here. I resume this one. Case type rule creation is done. Creation of our first case type rule is done. Let's understand the various rules created as part of case type creation. If you want to know what are the rules which Pega has provided, which Pega created as part of case type rule development, what we have done earlier for application. Similar way, you can navigate to configure application development recent actions. If you want to find any recent actions that happened, okay, you just need to navigate it. Navigate to application, next to development, and next to recent actions. Now I'm about recent actions tab. I came here. You can see about a minute ago, these are all rules which Pega created in the backend. And starting from here, we was 30 minutes ago. Starting from here, you can find these are all the rules which Pega created in the backend. Okay, either it created it, either it can be modified it. Either it can be creation or modification of that tool. If you can see application rule is already present earlier, so it's just modifying it. It's modifying that tool, whatever the case type rule that we created, it's committing that rule in this rule set. For now, just understand what are the rules that Pega is providing here. The best way or the best thing that you can do instead of you finding it from here, what you can do, you can open this class. You can open this class. What you can do, show in App Explorer. You can just click on show in App Explorer. This will open the class. From here, you can easily identify what are the rules that Pega created. First it created this class type rule. Did we create this class? No. Pega created this class type rule. So first and foremost thing rule which Pega created is the class type rule. Next, if you expand this data model, I can see data page. I can see data page called d underscore rule application and d underscore rule application list. Pega created data pages. We can see Pega created two data pages. We'll talk about the data page lectures later. But just understand, if someone asks you what are the rules which Pega create whenever we create a case type rule, the first thing which Pega create is the class of that application. You can see this is the class which Pega created it. Later, you just expand each and everything. So I'm just expanding. The first thing I'm expand data model which Pega created two data pages. If you expand the process, you can see the case type. This is the case type rule. Pega created the case type rule. Pega created the case type rule. If I expand the flow, you can see Pega created a create from flow as well. Pega created one flow as well. Did Pega create any work parties? Yes, it created a work party called PY case management default. Okay, this is the PY case management default will be same whenever we create any application case type. The naming convention will remain same. Case type PY default will remain same. Create form default for flow also it will remain same. PY case management default it will remain same. But what happens if the naming convention is same for every case type? How we need to know whether this is related to the OBC loan app or whether that is related to the other application? As we had discussed earlier, we have the key called PZNS key. PZNS key is the unique identifier thing which helps to identify whether which application that tool belongs to. Okay, we can if someone give you if we provide two PZNS keys for you, you can easily identify which rule which application that tool belongs to. Okay, either though the naming convention remains same for each and every application, if you want to identify it, we'll be having an unique identifier called PZNS key. With the help of that, we can identify it. So you can see we can see which a class is created. Good. Data page is got created. The process, the case type rule got created. Flow rule got created. Work parties got created. If I expand reports, report definition got created. It created these reports. This is admin, you can find a class. Okay. These are all the things which Pega created in the backend whenever you create any case type. I will send you the documentation. I'll prepare a notepad of things which we have discussed and which I feel is very important. I will create the notepad and I will upload it in the folder. Let's not waste time in typing it. I'll be sharing it to you offline. But just understand for now, Pega will create a case type rule, class rule, data pages, flows, work parties, report definition, etc. This is an important question which we can expect in an interview, and you should definitely have it in your mind. If someone asks you what are the rules that Pega creates whenever a case table is created, you should definitely tell class rule, data pages, work parties, report definitions. So class rule, now understand what is this class rule. If you open this class, you can see this is the class, right? This is the class rule. We can understand about concrete class and abstract class tomorrow. But for now, this is the class rule which is of concrete class type. And this is created in this version 010103. Okay. You can understand this belongs to class group, does not belongs to class group. Tomorrow's class, we have a complete detailed information about only classes. We'll be understanding what is a class, how we create a class, what is the feature that Pega is providing for concrete class and abstract class, and everything here. For now, just understand, you can see for each and every class, if the class, for each and every class that we create, Pega will map it to one database table. Pega will map it to database table. If I just click test connectivity here, you can see this class. What are the class which we can see here is mapped to the table. Which table is getting mapped? It's got mapped to this table, right? So for any class in Pega, either it can be any class, definitely the class should be mapped to one table in Pega. Okay. If you can see this class is mapped to the table called this is the table where you can find this database table. I know this table got created, but where you can find this table? Simple. Just go back to records, go to sysadmin, expand sysadmin. We have this database table. Okay, I'm telling you again, if you want to find what are the database tables that are present in Pega, you can navigate to records, expand sysadmin, expand sysadmin, go back, go to, if you can expand sysadmin, you have an option here, database table. It's a database table. You can find the database information of each and every table. Okay, clear? So this the last topic for today. I will be closing it. I will not take much of your time. We have understood our application development approaches for application development. Who will finalize approaches? Case type rule. What is the importance of case type rule? How we create that case type rule? We have understood what are the various rules that are created as part of case type rule. The last topic for today is understand the background rules, which helps in creating a case. If you go back here, close every time whenever you are not using any tabs. Close it. This will definitely help you to understand what are the things that you're going to do. Now go back to case type and go back to this application. If I want to create any case type, you can just do save and run. This is a case type. If I want to create any case, just click save and run. I did save and run. You can see we have created our first case for the case type called OBC RAM for application. You can see here 10001. This is the case ID. Case ID got created for this one application. My main purpose is to explain what are the rules that will create a case type rule. Case ID. You just need to click on this tracer. We are having different debugging tools, which I will definitely help you to understand the debugging tools as well. Starting from today, if I click tracer or if I click clipboard, understand what I'm doing. I'll be explaining you what I'm doing. Just you keep it in that mind so that you'll be getting the understanding of how you need to use the debugging tool. I click the tracer. I click the tracer setting option. It's very important for you to enable the three things. You need to enable the DB cache, DB query. Why is this important? Because if for each and everything that Pega process, for each and everything that Pega process, it will generate a query. That's the reason why you need to have the DB query and DB cache enabled. It's not important for you to enable this DB cache, but DB query is something which you need to enable it. Okay. This is the first thing which I have done. I'm not doing anything. I just cleared it. This is how the tracer looks like. And we have a separate session on what are the things that we can do in the tracer. For now, just understand starting from today. The first thing, if I want to debug something, I'll definitely open the tracer, which I've done. I've opened the tracer, minimize it, do 7 run. What tracer do? It will capture all the things that happen. So starting from case creation to generation of case ID. So it can be the starting to the end. Pega will capture each and every information which it processed in the tracer tool. Just open this tracer tool. Going back to this tracer tool, you can see Pega will capture everything. You can see I'm just stopping it. I just don't want to continue more than this. So in order to create a case ID, you can see Pega is performing this many action items. In order to generate a simple case ID, you can see Pega is calling this many rules. We have here PY default tool which Pega is calling. I will explain you what is PY default in the later classes. Want to just understand? Pega is calling PY default. Then they go here. You can see it's validating the case type. It's validating the case type. Sometimes what happens, the configuration that with respect to case type is not configured both correctly, it will fail the validation here. So Pega is validating the case type. Validation is something which Pega will do in the backend whether the case type is designed as per the Pega standards. This is Pega standards. This is without any errors. You should not have any errors on the case type rule. Then if you try it, then it will validate, and if it is success, then it will validate the next. You can see here The other important thing which I want to show, for each page in case that will I just want to show you one thing. That was the most important thing which we will definitely see it in going forward. Leave about all this stuff. We will not need it. Fine, scroll up, scroll up. You can see it's opening some instance of base and get activation ID. It's not important. Just scrolling up. I just want to know whether the Pega created any primary page for this rule or not. You can see for creating a simple case ID, Pega called this many rules. Scroll up, scroll up. Now you can see we couldn't find the value which got recorded in Pega. The reason being, if I click on settings icon, it is only having the tracer events of maximum 5,000. Okay, more than 5,000 items, you are not getting it. Let me make it to 50,000 for now. Or you can give how many tracer events you want. You can give it here. Now I'll try to create one more time so that I will show you keyboard structure as well. Just doing tracer again. Go to settings icon and see whether you have this enabled, and it should be more than, or you should have more events here. Clear. I'm doing 7 run. Let this action complete. I'll be using it in 2 minutes and not taking much of your time. This is very important because you need to know this will be an important question because they are asking you they are asking more about the background rules that Pega is using for carrying out any functionality. I've seen many people have got the same question many times from interview. They are expecting that what Pega is doing in the backend. You go back here, the tracer events. Let it generate. Okay. So I'm looking for this one. You can see here, scroll back, go back. You can see here what Pega is doing for each and every case that you are generating. For each and every case ID that you are generating, Pega is creating a new page called create work page. Create work page, we call it as Pega work page. That's the reason why every time when you want to have the details of the case, we'll be navigating to a page called Pega work page. So Pega will create Pega work page. Pega is creating a Pega work page. It also creates ID, generate ID. What does this generate ID mean? If you can see here, we are having this case type ID as 10003. That's where the generate ID functionality comes into picture. It's creating a unique ID for each and every case that you create. So Pega is calling a generate ID function. Pega is creating a new page called preview work page. Now just open this clipboard. This is where you can find each and every information about this case. Scroll down. Preview work page, which I mentioned that Pega is creating a new page called preview work page. If you go here, you can find Pega is created a new work page called Pega work page. It generated ID called you find the generate ID as P by ID. Here is a P by ID called created. P by ID is created using generate ID. PY work page is created by using a function called create page. And for each and every case that we have, for each and every case ID, as mentioned, we'll be having unique identifier called preset and scheme. That's it from my end. Any questions? Let me know. Let's close the questions in a minute or so, as we have extended 10 minutes today. I just want to get this done. Any doubts? Let me
How
know.
to find that P is a dynasty particular for the rule set? Something you told, right?
Particular for that rule set. Yeah, you can go. If you want to find PZ and key of any rule, if you want to find PZ and key of any rule, open that rule. Can be any rule. You have this actions view XML. This is where you can find, okay. If you want to find PZ and key of any role, just open and use actions, view XML and search PZ and key. You can find it from there. Okay.
No, not this one. You told right. If we create everyone same name, it will be. But with that pizza dynasty, we will
Yeah, yeah.
find
I
that
will show you.
one.
I will show you. I will show you that one tomorrow. Don't worry. So let's consider. I will show you right away tomorrow as well. Let's consider. We have all these rules created, right? Find this rule. Open this test validation. Okay. You can see this is the test validation rule. If I do check out, okay, this is in my private edit. If let's consider you having different rules in different versions or different, if you can see, just open with XML for each and everything that you perform in Pega, you will create pizza and ski with the timestamp. This timestamp will be not same for everything. That's where if the role is present in different instances, the pizza and ski what does it do? It will whatever the pizza and ski it added earlier, this is the earlier pizza and ski, it will add the timestamp. So no two rules will have the same timestamp. That's how you can identify different rules or different rule sets, either the same name, either in the same version. You can identify it by using the timestamp feature. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll stop the recording. Are we good to wrap? You can reach out to me directly in offline. You can ping in WhatsApp if you're having any doubts. That's all for today. And I'm just giving a heads up on tomorrow's class. What we're doing in tomorrow's class, we'll be understanding class and class group configuration. This is very important. I just want everyone to attend the class without fail. And I will be sharing you how to install personal edition offline. Just go to it, do install, and come back to me. If you have any doubts, we can discuss it tomorrow's class.